What if 100 repetitions could rewrite your reality? Jacobo Grinberg discovered that the mind doesn't just perceive the world, it actively constructs it. He believed that consciousness shapes the structure of reality in ways few truly understand. Neville Goddard, on the other hand, revealed that the mechanism behind this transformation isn't about effort, but about unwavering certainty and intentional repetition. What happens when we combine these two perspectives into one simple, yet widely overlooked technique? No rituals, no materials, just your voice and conviction. Does it seem too basic to work? Maybe that's exactly what they don't want you to know. The results are difficult to explain until you experience them. And when that happens, everything you thought you knew about reality may never be the same again. Few dare to question the very nature of reality. Jacobo Grinberg was one of those rare investigators, a scientist who refused to settle for prepackaged answers. He didn't just want to understand how we perceive the world, he wanted to know how we create it. Through his studies on consciousness, Grinberg proposed that the mind doesn't merely observe, but actively constructs the experience we call reality, shaping it based on deeply ingrained internal patterns. This suggests that what you believe to be unchangeable might actually be nothing more than a reflection of what you've been conditioned to accept as truth. This concept has a striking parallel with Neville Goddard's teachings, which argue that the external world is merely a reflection of the internal mind. According to him, repeating a thought infused with emotion has the power to completely reshape one's life. If reality is built upon what we accept as truth, then repeating an affirmation 100 times isn't just a mechanical act. It's a process of reconfiguration. Grinberg believed that the mind interacts with an invisible field of information, while Neville taught that this interaction can be consciously directed. By speaking a specific phrase with total conviction, you're not just reinforcing an idea within yourself, you're tuning your mind to a new frequency capable of attracting corresponding events. The idea that repetition can transform reality isn't superstition. It's a fundamental mechanism of the human mind. Since ancient times, mantras, prayers, and rituals have harnessed this principle to alter states of consciousness and bring about changes in the physical world. But what happens when you apply this technique deliberately, with focus and full emotional engagement? Jacobo Grinberg studied how the mind constructs reality through internalized patterns. He suggested that what we perceive as solid is, in fact, an illusion created by our consciousness as it interacts with an invisible field of information. He claimed that this field responds to the mind in ways that conventional science has yet to fully understand. Neville Goddard, on the other hand, didn't rely on scientific explanations. He simply declared that whatever is repeated with conviction becomes reality. The common thread between these two perspectives is that repetition doesn't just reinforce a belief. It reconfigures neural connections, reshaping the internal structure that defines external experience. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever is repeatedly presented with emotion. When you repeat an affirmation 100 times, something begins to shift on a deep level. Specific neural networks are activated and strengthened, making that idea increasingly present in your mental structure. Grinberg believed the brain could enter altered states where the boundaries between the physical and mental dissolve. Neville taught that by affirming something with certainty, you change your internal vibration, causing reality to adjust and reflect this new configuration. The key to this process isn't just mechanical repetition, but feeling every word as absolute truth. This is how the subconscious mind adopts the new pattern and begins translating it into tangible events. Repeating an affirmation 100 times is a simple yet powerful practice that has the potential to break mental barriers, dissolve limiting beliefs, and reprogram your perception of the world. If the human mind truly interacts with an informational field, then this exercise may be the key to accessing alternate realities. What you are about to learn isn't just a technique, it's a gateway to a new way of being. Repetition is the language of the subconscious. Everything you believe today was, in some way, repeated to you countless times until it became part of your identity. Since childhood, we have heard statements that shaped our perceptions of money, relationships, success, and even ourselves. Many of these beliefs were implanted without question, becoming invisible laws that govern our lives. What Neville Goddard and Jacobo Grinberg suggest in their own ways is that this process can be reversed. If a limiting pattern was established through repetition, it can also be dismantled and replaced with a new mental model using the same principle. The difference is that now you will do it consciously and deliberately, choosing exactly the reality you wish to create. The practice of repeating an affirmation 100 times isn't just a mental exercise, it's a true reprogramming ritual. Each repetition deepens the idea in your mind until it becomes an unquestionable command for the subconscious. Just as an athlete trains their muscles until movements become automatic, you will train your mind until the new belief becomes an unquestionable part of your reality. The moment doubt disappears is the moment the universe begins to reorganize to reflect this new mental configuration, and that's exactly what you're about to experience. Now that you understand the foundation of this process, let's move on to the practical application. The technique is simple, but requires absolute commitment. For 7 consecutive nights, you will choose a quiet moment, free from distractions, and repeat a single affirmation 100 times out loud. This affirmation should align with a genuine desire, something you want to become an inevitable part of your reality. It could be something like, "My life is transforming," for "I am prosperous and everything flows in my favor," or any phrase that resonates with your deepest intention. The first step is to create the right environment. The subconscious mind responds best when we are relaxed, so finding a calm and comfortable place is essential. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and allow your body to relax. This state of relaxation lowers mental resistance and makes the mind more receptive to new programming. Now begin the repetition. Every word must be spoken with total emotional involvement. You're not just speaking, you're shaping reality. Feel each phrase as if it were already an absolute truth. The mind doesn't just respond to words, it responds to the energy behind them. At first, it may seem like you're just saying random words, but as you continue, you'll notice a subtle shift. Your mental state will begin to change, and you'll enter a flow where the affirmation feels more real than anything else. That's the key. Repeat until your body and mind fully accept the statement as an undeniable fact. In the following days, you may start noticing small shifts, increased intuition, unexpected situations working in your favor, or even signs confirming that something is realigning in your life. This happens because your mind is adjusting your perception to match the new program. Neville Goddard taught that when a desire is accepted as an internal reality, the external world has no choice but to reorganize to reflect that belief. After the 100 repetitions, simply stop. Don't try to force anything or question the process. Detachment is just as important as the repetition itself. Jacobo Grinberg studied how excessive conscious control could interfere with the connection to the informational field. By releasing the need for immediate results, you send a clear signal to the subconscious that you have already accepted this reality, and that's when changes begin to manifest naturally and inevitably. This isn't magic. It's a shift in mental state, and that shift influences both your actions and how reality responds. The reality you experience isn't fixed. It moves according to the mental patterns you cultivate daily, often without realizing it. Jacobo Grinberg dedicated his life to studying the connection between mind and reality, while Neville Goddard provided a practical approach to accessing it consciously. They both show us that the power has always been within us, waiting to be directed in the right way. Now, the choice is yours. 7 nights, 100 repetitions. Simple enough to seem impossible. Powerful enough to change your life. What will you choose?